how come I'm seeing this. You should share this with everyone. And here's what I saw. I saw cruise ships on every coastline in America. I saw cruise ships. These cruise ships were in Texas, South Texas, Galveston, Florida, Louisiana, California, wherever there's a coastline, Virginia, South Carolina even. Wherever there's a coastline, I saw cruise ships, even up the Northeast Corridor, New York, Jersey, wherever there's a coastline city. I saw cruise ships docked there, and I saw people running into these ships. God, what am I seeing? I was seeing a mass exodus. Exodus. It was massive. It had me astonished because I'm like, what is going on? Something in this vision, this was a vision that I was seeing, was causing people, now watch this, particularly African-American people, to exit. Now, just as there was an exodus in Egypt, from Egypt, there is going to be an exodus from America, because something is getting ready to take place when the word gets out of what is happening. In the same way that the slave ships came from West Africa and brought slaves into America, ships, cruise ships, are going to return many back. So there is coming another exodus, but an exodus from America into what I heard was the motherland.
The transatlantic slave trade and how enslaved people were brought to America in ships. This is a story of unimaginable suffering, but also of resilience and strength. Watch and pay attention, and I will share my thought later.
So here's what I saw. I was reading about a prophetic word that I gave concerning Africa and about King Leopold of Belgium and what he did many years ago, centuries ago. And I was reminding myself that there is to remind the African nation and those that live in Africa, various parts, and you should share this with all of them. Please stay with me, because I'm going somewhere with this. King Leopold basically took over Africa, and of course, there's a King Leopold type figure that is trying to move in that region right now. Yet while reading this, the Lord took my eyes and took me into the future. Took me into the future in what appeared to be the result or the reaction of an apocalyptic event. So I'm sitting here asking myself, am I hallucinating? What is going on, and how come I'm seeing this? You should share this with everyone. And here's what I saw. I saw cruise ships on every coastline in America. I saw cruise ships. These cruise ships were in Texas, South Texas, Galveston, Florida, Louisiana, California, wherever there's a coastline, Virginia, South Carolina even. Wherever there's a coastline, I saw cruise ships, even up the Northeast Corridor, New York, Jersey, wherever there's a coastline city. I saw cruise ships docked there, and I saw people running into these ships. God, what am I seeing? I was seeing a mass exodus. Exodus. It was massive. It had me astonished because I'm like, what is going on? Something in this vision, this was a vision that I was seeing, was causing people, now watch this, particularly African-American people, to exit. Now, just as there was an exodus in Egypt, from Egypt, there is going to be an exodus from America, because something is getting ready to take place when the word gets out of what is happening. In the same way that the slave ships came from West Africa and brought slaves into America, ships, cruise ships, are going to return many back. So there is coming another exodus, but an exodus from America into what I heard was the motherland. Exodus from, I saw it, y'all. I saw it. I know what I saw. I saw it, and it was so real to me that I came to. I'm like, oh wow. He was showing me that he is getting ready to send his people back. Now, this is all going to happen. The exodus is going to happen from America back into Africa, back into Jerusalem even. This is getting ready to happen. The exodus is coming out of America and going back. And I saw thousands and millions even of people running toward the ships. And listen, they were leaving with money. What did you just say? They were leaving with gold. They were leaving with substance, even credit. Man, I don't know. All I know is what I saw. You take that up with God. I don't know. I'm telling you that something is happening. Something is happening already. And whatever it is, it's already moving. Now, I don't know all this means. I just know what I saw, and I saw it. This hadn't been a half an hour ago. You would begin to pray about it. That's what I would do. That's what I'm already doing. But I see a massive second exodus. Now, here is why. Here is one of the things that I also saw. I was reminded that God talked about his people being on ships, brought over on ships, and his people, oh God, having shackles and chains, shackles of iron and chains, because of their rebellion and because of their idolatry and because they began to do the things of the heathen. The world is going to hear this message. He's telling me even right now, he said the world is going to hear this message because they're going to wonder how I know. I just saw it. I just saw it. And he said in the word, he said, I'm judging. I judged my people, but I'm not going to judge you forever. I'm not going to judge you forever. I'm going to return you back to myself, and I'm going to judge that nation that oppressed you. I'm going to judge that nation that oppressed you. That's what the Lord said to me. I said to myself, okay, so what's going to happen if I'm judging, if I'm done judging my people? He said, you're going to be in bondage for 400 years. If I judge my people for defying me, and then I'm going to judge the nation that, the cruel nation. He said, I'm going to judge them. It means America is under judgment. America is not going to want this to happen, but America is going to begin to fight. America is going to they're going to be too busy. The powers that be are going to be too busy handling something else. I saw it clearly, and I know what I saw. He said, I'm getting ready to judge America, and I'm going to make sure that the innocent, the people of God, and those that are my jewels are not caught in the crossfire. And I saw ships on the coastline, and I saw people of all nationalities, but in particular, his children, his nation, his people, Judah, the 12 tribes that are hiding in America. Probably the prince of the power of the air that don't want this to go up. But I promise you, I'm going to say it again a little bit later. I promise you I'm going to share this. But I saw it. It came to me, and I looked with my eyes, my spiritual eyes, and saw it. And people were from all over the nation trying to get to, they were saying whatever city you could get to. And there were literal cruise ships. There were cruise ships that were, Lord have mercy, these cruise ships were waiting for us to come there. But now here's the other part about it, what I saw. I saw, hallelujah, I saw a transfer of wealth, money, substances. I just saw it. I don't know what's going on, but I know what I just saw. And America is getting ready, and let me say this, the African American and the true Jew and the true people of God are getting ready to return back from whence they came in the way in which they came. They came in abuse and attack. They are going to return in comfort and wealth. This is what is getting ready to take place. I know what I saw. I saw it clearly. I wasn't trying to see it. I wasn't looking for it, wasn't speaking in tongues, wasn't doing anything. I was minding my business, and he opened up my eyes and let me see it. And this is not long. God, the Lord, showed me that he is getting ready, exit us. He's getting ready to exit us. Exit us. Who is us? If my people, you see, his people, it's his people. Don't get mad, because he knows who his people are. So what I'm saying to you is, right now, get ready for it. If I be a prophet of God, this word shall come to pass. I have not heard this anywhere, but I just saw it sitting right there, thinking to myself, oh, what am I looking at? There is coming a mass exodus of people, especially Those are the descendants of the slave trade. Lord have mercy. Those that are descendants of those who came in the slave trade, it's getting ready to be reversed. And he showed me that when I don't know about anything. I'm just telling you what he showed me. He didn't give me all of the details about everybody, but I do know that this is mainly aimed at those who are people of color, the descendants of those who were abused. God said, now you've asked them long enough to give you reparations. Now I'm going to force the reparations just like I'm going to force the reparations just like I forced Pharaoh and his people to pay the children of Israel as they left Egypt. He said he's going to exit us. That means we won't have to exit. He's going to do it this time. And it is being revealed. I know this. I know what I'm looking at. I know what I saw. I saw it just as clearly. And I could see people literally running toward these ships. And that was not like one ship in the harbor. There were dozens of ships. It was like somebody from somewhere chartered all of the ships and boats and yachts that they could get their hands on for people to exit the nation. I saw it. I know what I saw. I know what I saw. I know what I saw. Lord have mercy. I know what I saw. I know what I saw. And I don't know who is or whatever, but I know what I saw. Prepare for this. This is going to happen. Something real deep is getting ready to happen in America because I saw these ships. And this wasn't what I knew. What I did see was this wasn't for everyone. This was a consistency of the people. There was a consistency of the people who were getting on these ships, and they were being returned back, but they were returning back with all kinds of money and substance and resources. It's almost like, this is what I could describe it as. The wealth of America went to Africa. It's like the wealth of America went to Africa. The wall that they put down there in Mexico, we thought it was keeping illegal Mexicans out, because that's what they told us, but it was also keeping Americans in. What do they know that they have not told us about? You guys, I saw it. The Lord doeth nothing, but he revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Now I want you to get this vision of what I saw. I'm gonna try to show you this. I want you, look, man, you don't have to prove anything to me, brother and sister. I'm not God. I'm just a messenger of God. I saw what I saw, so don't negotiate with me because none of this is in my hands. I'm only telling you what I saw. And unfortunately, I don't know who all is included in this, but I know what I saw were a lot of people of color. I'm just a messenger of God. I'm not God. I only know what he shows me, and for whatever reason, as imperfect as I am, he trusts me with it. And he gives it to me, he shows me. And what I saw was a sight I have never seen before. Amen. I had never seen this before. And it was like, if you could see, like the Pacific Fleet of America, the Atlantic Fleet, it's a group of ships. That's what I saw. A bunch of ships on the way from America, headed somewhere else. It didn't terrify me. There was a feeling of joy. But this wasn't the rapture. This was an exit, an exodus. The Lord's getting ready to exit us. But he said what he did say to me, before this happens, tell my people, I'm going to force them to pay you. He said, tell my people, no more programs. The programs don't work for you. There's an agenda in all of this. I'm getting ready to let them give you cold, hard cash. I'm going to let them give you gold. I'm going to let them give you even money of all kinds and of all levels. I want y'all to understand what I just saw. And I'm crying aloud because I don't believe it. I believe it, but I don't believe that I just saw it. I believe what I saw, but I don't believe that I just saw it. It has thrown me for a loop. I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't thinking that. I could literally see what looked like 10 ships off the coastline waiting for other ships to pull up and load up. Oh God. And as the ships would fill up, they would say, no more can get on this ship. And that ship would move out of the docks and another ship would return. In some areas, there were ships lined up. And people were coming with luggage and they would tell them, you can't carry this and you can't carry that. It was like they were starting all over again. But they were going with stuff like they had money. The systems.
Understanding this history is essential to grasp the roots of systemic inequality and the enduring impact of slavery. Let's explore how this horrific journey unfolded and honor the memory of those who endured it. The transatlantic slave trade began in the 15th century and lasted for over 400 years. During this time, millions of Africans were forcibly taken from their homes, sold into slavery, and transported across the Atlantic Ocean. European traders established coastal forts and ports in West Africa, such as Elima Castle in modern-day Ghana. This became central hubs for capturing and selling enslaved people. Africans were often captured through violent trade or wars. And sometimes sold by local rulers. Families were torn apart and individuals were stripped of their identities. The journey across the Atlantic, known as the Middle Passage, was harrowing. Enslaved people were packed into the cargo holds of ships, chained together in cramped, unsanitary conditions. These ships were designed for profit, not humanity. Captains maximized space, often cramming hundreds of people into areas with little ventilation or light. Diseases like dysentery and smallpox spread rapidly. Malnutrition and dehydration were common. Historians estimate that up to 20% of those aboard did not survive the journey. The psychological toll was just as devastating. Enslaved people faced constant fear, abuse, and isolation. Many resisted, attempting uprising aboard ships, while others chose to leap into the ocean rather than endure the suffering. Despite the brutality, enslaved Africans carried with them their cultures, language, and traditions. This would later shape the cultures of the Americas in profound ways. Upon arriving in the Americas, enslaved people were sold at auctions like commodities. Families were further separated, and individuals were forced into labor on plantations, in mines, or as domestic workers. This system of forced labor built the economics of many nations but left a legacy of pain and inequalities that persist today. So why is it important to talk about this history? First, it is about acknowledging the truth. The transatlantic slave trade was not just a historical event, it shaped the modern world in profound ways. From systemic racism to cultural resilience, the legacy of slavery is still with us. By understanding the past, we can work towards a more just and equitable future. It is also about honoring the strength and resilience of those who endure the unthinkable. Despite the horrors of slavery, enslaved people found ways to resist, to create, and build communities that have enriched the world. From spirituals to jazz, from civil rights to contemporary activism, the descendants of enslaved Africans have left an indelible mark on global culture and history. Thank you for watching, guys. Do not forget to like and share your thoughts in the comment box below. Until next time, cheers and have a good one.